Hello again, Vast Ice Pops. Steve here again, and today I'll be fielding the questions that you were kind enough to ask me based on the previous video where I asked for questions for an AMA. Now, a few of the questions I have had to rephrase just slightly, either for clarity or to avoid giving away too much personal information. So you should still be able to recognize which question is yours, plus I'll be labeling the questions based on who asked them anyway. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first question actually comes from my wife. When I told her I was going to do an AMA video, she insisted on asking, what video game character do you most identify with and why? And to this I would have to say, Mario. He's just a regular guy, just a plumber from Brooklyn, New York, and he found himself in these unexpected circumstances in the Mushroom Kingdom where he had to rescue the princess, but he went on to rescue her and do extraordinary things. It's the ultimate fish out of water tale, and it's an unlikely hero tale, and it resonates with me a whole lot. Second question comes from a player of mine from my Pathfinder game. His name is Peyton. Having not played the other Assassin's Creed games, are the missions in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where you're outside the Animus, weird to you? I would say they're not so much weird as annoying. I really just want to play the game and experience all the action and the combat and the exploration and things like that. I find the present day sections of the game to be rather unnecessary. Just save all that stuff for like the end of game cutscenes and things like that. And I will say, when you're playing as Layla Hassan in the present day, in the ruins, getting one hit killed by snakes or spikes for that matter, is super annoying. So, next question. This one comes from Addison Studios. Do you have kids? Well, yes. As the recording of this video, I have one son who's 2.5, and I have another son on the way who is coming in May. My next 3 questions are from the same person. I guess she was very eager to find things out. Another one of my players named Christina. What top 5 games are currently in your backlog? So, for me, backlog is games that I've started but haven't finished. Or it could be games I just haven't started, but all of these games are games that I've started but haven't finished for one reason or another. And those would be Dragon Quest Heroes 2, Wizardry: Tale of the Forsaken Land, The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker, Lost Odyssey, and Pokemon Sun. And I can't really offer good excuses for these. It's just I find myself playing games and I get bored and I turn off the game and play something else with the intention of coming back to it, but I just never do. Second question from Christina. Is your son a mama's boy or a daddy's boy? Beyond a shadow of a doubt, he's a mommy's boy. One great piece of evidence to this is if he wakes up in the middle of the night, he'll run to the gate in his room and start yelling for his mother. Now, if I get up and try to be like a super dad and try to intercept my son so he doesn't wake Michelle up, he'll actually start crying really loud as soon as he sees me, which is just wonderful. And then he'll start screaming for his mom, and then he'll jump into his mom's arms and, wrap his little arms around her neck, and then want to go have a cuddle and things like that. So, yeah, most definitely a mommy's boy. Third question from Christina. If money were no object, who would you cosplay as? And I've always wanted to cosplay as Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, including carrying around that big Buster Sword. I almost had a Buster Sword once, but that fell through, and that's a whole story I won't get into. But I'm not really tall enough to do a good Cloud, and I really don't have the body for it, so it's just kind of a wash. Next question comes from Eevee, None of Your Business. What is your occupation? Well, I am a substitute teacher. I'm also a up-and-coming YouTuber, I guess you'd say, and I'm also an aspiring game designer. Next question comes from AnnieFan08. Age? And do teachers or substitutes have favorite students or classes? And if so, what is your favorite middle school class? Well, as of the recording of this video, I'm 36 years old. And even before I became a teacher, I became aware of the fact that teachers indeed do have favorite students, least favorite students, favorite classes, least favorite classes, things like that. They even have favorite subjects to teach and least favorite subjects to teach, which, all that's understandable because, teachers are still human. We're all going to have likes and dislikes and things like that. As for favorite class, I can't give an honest answer for that. That isn't going to hurt someone's feelings and possibly get me into trouble. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to punk out on that one, so I'm sorry. The next question comes from Nazotum. I hope I'm saying that right. If not, I apologize. What is it like playing video games and content creating as an award-winning celebrity? Now, for context here, Nazotum has stated publicly that I look like Nicolas Cage. So, the best honest answer that I can give to the question is it's challenging to balance my recreational gaming with content creating. Sometimes I just want to sit around and play games and not make videos. And then those two things are hard to balance with all my other responsibilities with working and family and things like that. But I have a terrific, outstanding, wonderful wife who supports all of my ambitions, no matter how far-fetched they are. Next question comes from Eden's Meme. What's it like when subbing for teachers? So the best answer I can give for that is that it's unpredictable. Not only am I going to different classrooms every day, I might have a wildly different experience one day in a classroom and then have a totally different experience in that same classroom on a future day. So it's just very unpredictable, but overall, yeah, it's a pretty good time. Second question from Eden's Meme. If I had $1 million, what would I do with it? Well, first I'd pay off my house. I'd set some money aside for my kids, for their future plans, for after high school, whether that be to go to a traditional four-year college or go to a business school or a trade school or open up a business or whatever it is that they want to try to do with their lives. Set a little bit aside for that. I'd try to put a bundle of it in a bank and try to find the best interest-bearing account that I can get to try to grow that money slowly and try not to touch it. And, buy my wife a few nice trinkets and get myself a super-duper next-gen gaming PC set up. And then maybe pay a little money for a nice little development team to try to bring my video game ideas to life, because I'm not really good at programming, and I need people that are good at that kind of stuff. And I'm not good at art for that matter either, so I need people who are good at art. I mean, I could go into that could be a whole video of its own, me talking about my attempts to make video games, but I won't get into that right now. Last question comes from Panda Games. When did you start to substitute teach in your school, and do you like substitute teaching? Well, I started where I am now in October of 2018. Yes, I would have to say I like substitute teaching. Some days are obviously better than others, as I alluded to in a previous question. And no matter what job you have, you're going to have things about it that you like and dislike. Even if you're working your dream job, you're going to run into things in your daily life working that job that you would prefer to not have to deal with. And that's true across the board, and the same is true of me. But on the whole, on the overall, I would say yes, I like substitute teaching. So that'll do it for the questions. I thank you all for asking about me. I do enjoy answering questions about myself. I know that sounds a little self-centered, but I just do. People ask me questions, and I give them answers, and it's a good time. So perhaps when I get to 250 subscribers, I'll have another one of these. Who knows? But for now, go check out some of my other stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. That will do it for this chapter. Thank you for checking out my channel. If you like my content, please tell me in the comments below, or if you have any general feedback, I'd welcome that as well. Make sure you subscribe so that you're always up to date with all of my latest gaming adventures.